Good Welcome to The Price of Fame. My name is Lunga Tshuka and I'll be your host. So, The Price of Fame is a podcast that focuses on the real stories about the journey to success from the moment of realization of one gift or purpose. And in these conversations, we aim to share the light on the hardships, the sacrifices, and the mindsets our guests have to overcome to achieve their current position in their career. And these are their stories. So tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a South African soloist who's developed a talent at a very young age. Dubbed as one of the most smooth, velvety, warm and sultry voices you can find in SA, she's made a lot of noise in her career, like having most of her hits play on radio stations across South Africa and being the overall winner at the Grand West Vocal Competition and had performances at the world-renowned International Cape Town Jazz Festival. For those of you that don't know, that's where legends get together. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome to the screen the very beautiful and talented singer, songwriter, and vocal coach, Candice Thornton.
Hey!
Yeah,
Always an introduction.
I do that now these days. Hey, I very cheap, very cheap. Just let me know. You need an introduction anyway. If you
You're
come to
right.
functions, it's someone's birthday, you want to walk in, I come in there. Ladies and gentlemen, Candice Thornton.
I love it. Thank you for
How are
having
you doing,
me.
Candice?
I'm good. How are you doing, Lunga?
I'm very well, thank you. And thank you so much for being a guest on The Price of Fame. We truly, truly appreciate it. I mean, I've seen you on stage before and I've shared the stage with you a few times. And like, you really got that magic, girl. You got that magic. And for those of you who know Candice Thornton, knows that she is born with that gift. And
Yeah.
now you really bring it. You make people actually feel it. You know, when you feel that goosebumps, that's what you do. It's not just like, oh, she can hit the notes. You actually carry feeling with it where we feel and we don't know how to describe it. So we give it back in woo or clapping our
Thank
hands.
you.
And I'm sure you
Thank
get it
you
a
very
lot when
much.
you perform.
I think I do, but I've got the weirdest requests because of that. People have asked me to be their alarms. Some have asked if they can just marry my voice. I don't know.
Here's a funny thing, though. Here's a funny thing, though. So, listen, I don't listen to your voice notes. I know. So sometimes when Saskia's with me, then she like plays some of your voice notes, and I always ask her, "Why is Candace singing in her voice notes?" I feel like you sing everything like, "Hello, how you doing?" So I tell you
I,
that I'm
I don't know how it
around like,
happened.
and I was just
I
like,
don't
does
know
she
how it
always
happened.
sing?
Like it's just in
Sorry.
me. Even if I say like morning, I'll be like morning, and it's so automatic. It's not something I planned. It's just like in my DNA. And people be like, "How do
Yeah,
you even feel that right now?" So I'll be like,
absolutely.
"Okay, I'm just gonna be one with my destiny and just sing hello."
No, you keep your spirit, you keep that liveliness that you always have, and you keep it coming. We appreciate it, and that's what makes you very special. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I mean, it's something. If I were to get voice notes from you, it's something I would look forward to every time I see your voice note there. Like she better sing this, whatever she wants to tell me, even if it's a sad thing, she better. All right. So, how has 2021 been for you so far?
Shoot, 2021 is such a roller coaster ride, eh?
Uh-huh.
It's the first time in 11 years that I haven't seen a stage every weekend and I haven't done a gig every month. This is usually like that time where you do residencies, and
Yeah.
it's really been a tough journey for me to get used to that because my happiness was my job. So I
So,
often used to find like the things you seek, your validation, your relaxation, like all the things that come with being happy, you don't get it that easily. So it just shows you how much of a drug my career had become for me to kind of
yeah.
exist. So
Mhm.
2021 is it's been showing me a lot of things about myself that I definitely was not ready to entertain. And now I'm sitting in my corner and I'm entertaining my stuff and I'm speaking to myself and I'm taking record of what I need to do to fix the things that I've been putting aside because I was busy with my drug for 11 years, just going to work and coming back home, going to work
Yeah.
and putting everything in the subconscious. So it's a really crazy journey, 2021, but I'm enjoying it because it's a new phase in my life.
Look, that is so true, and I can resonate so deeply with that because I mean, like when you're speaking of 20, the year being so different, that it actually given you some time to, because it's taken away your daily hustle or your weekend or
Mm,
your hustle, so that you can't do that anymore. So you had to actually step back, reassess everything, re-look at yourself and everything that you have, and all the stuff that you've put on the back seat had to now come forward.
yeah.
And that's exactly the experience that I had last year. First I was like in
Mm.
denial, like, yeah, this lockdown is gonna end soon. But when it didn't end, it was just getting worse and crazier. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so what's happening to my plans for the year? What do I do? What do I do? What's going on now? Are we ever gonna? So, and I was like, I can't go to my meetings, I can't go to my gigs, I can't do any of these things. But I have so much stuff that I've actually put in the back where I've told myself, I don't have time to look at you right now. And that has
Yeah.
given me the to like assess those things, and go through that stuff. So I understand what you mean when you speak about how it actually gave you like a back seat, and while you're in
Mm,
the back seat, you've got some time to look at the things that you've put there and just reassess
absolutely.
and come. But yeah, absolutely. That is amazing. And please, just quickly, a quick question. I know you're very, very good in jazz, and you're probably known as mostly as a jazz legend and most of your style is like jazz music. Can you tell me what's the difference between jazz and blues?
That is such a good question. Blues. Blues
Yeah.
is a very like blues. Its origins is rock and roll, right? And
Mhm.
more rock than roll, because blues was really a new phase of genre that came out of the cotton picking time. People used to sit
Yes.
on the farms and they want to put their feelings
Mhm.
into music. Blues is that kind of blues, not the blues that we dance to in Cape Town. Because I think the biggest thing we have here in Cape Town is we associate genres with the dance genres that we do with dance schools. So there's jazz dance schools that kind of determine what the genre should actually be when we're singing and when we're performing.
Yes.
So jazz music is a lot of the Frank Sinatras, your Nina Simone, your Lena Horne, your Ella Fitzgerald. Those are your pioneers. That is your jazz music, not Anita Baker. What Anita Baker is
Yes.
R&B. Let's just get this correct. So the
Yes.
differences between
Yes. Yes.
the differences between the two is actually really big if you understand the history of it all. And
Yeah.
I'm sure if Cape Town really knew what the right genres were, we'd be requesting the specific songs at the gigs correctly. So now you get someone at the gig saying, "Yeah, spell a jazz number," and I'm like, "What jazz number?"
Oh, yes.
Then it's actually
Yeah.
meaning play a R&B number, but I say no jazz. So
Yes,
I've
yes, yes.
learned that's the biggest lesson you need to learn in Cape Town as a musician. That's the
Yes.
difference.
That look, I mean, I can resonate with that so much because when people like spell a jazz number and you play, yeah, you can play like a Louis Armstrong and like spell that
Yeah,
baby in your line. I get so excited. Oh my life. I
is
try
it
to
right
find
there?
it. I was like, no, it's not a jazz song. It's a jazz number. Ik gaat your voice. Speel het, dan wijs ik voor jou.
And then they
No.
dance the jazz to the song, so
Yeah.
they say the jazz song.
Yeah, that is so true, And with blues, like the whole thing with blues, my understanding of blues and like the way I've like saw how they people like on documentaries and how they describe blues, it's exactly like you described it. It was like it was music of pain, music of because people always like I'm channeling my ancestors when I play this stuff,
Mm.
blues and all of that, and like wow, it's like so amazing that with blues you also find more. It's more of I know in jazz too, but it's like you don't really have to sing. You can bring more of your instrument, let the instrument sing. Like I don't
Exactly.
know the
It's a
song,
form of
but the only book
expression.
that I have in my head is sorry.
It's a form of expression.
Yes. I don't know the name of the song, but it probably is I Put a Spell on You because that's all I know of the
Ooh.
blues song. I put a spell on you.
Well done,
No, the
Lunga.
song
We love you.
now I'm like, whoa, and with the blues, like you say, they channel their ancestors and all of those things. It's more of like almost like a spiritual vibe. And
Mm.
what is bebop? Can you please explain what bebop is?
Bebop is also sort of jazz is a genre, and then within jazz, you have the subgenres. So bebop is like a subgenre where it happens very like it's so specific. I can't even explain it. You need to listen to it. So if you hear
Yeah.
trumpet players, let's say you're listening to like Chet Baker or Louis Armstrong, and you hear them take solos in between with just the music, and you hear them going up and down the scales, and they're just going. That is bebop. It's like a genre according to me. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you really get lost in that. Like bebop can drive you nuts. So you
No,
have to be like king of bebop. You cannot
yeah.
play it because it's so specific. It's not just like throwing out any solo. You have to seriously nail it. The minute you do it, nail
Mm.
it. And you hear a lot of people who do jazz as like the daily life, like UCT students. A lot of the instrumentalists, they are so good at bebop, even vocalists. It's such a skill. And don't try it at home, guys.
That's so funny. Look, I feel like bebop is almost like, when they do solos with the instruments and all of that stuff. I feel
Yes.
like bebop is solo with your voice. You're just
Yeah,
playing with notes. You're just going, you're doing a solo right now, and you're just letting yourself go free.
definitely. That's what jazz does to you, though.
Listen, Candice, we have to try some bebop tonight because I wanted to. I was looking forward to it, and you kind of crushed me now when you said don't do bebop at all. I was like, you, I wanted to try some bebop with you.
You can try. I'll just
No,
guide you.
listen. Look, no, no, no. Look, okay, we do it like almost like what do you say when we almost like tennis. Like I'll do a bit and then you do a bit and then I do a bit and then you do a bit. So I'm gonna give you the beat. Remember the beat, okay? Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. Putting you on the spot. This is how I go. The beat got doom, 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 doom,
You actually see it.
doom, 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 You got that beat right? It's a doom,
Yeah.
doom, doom. Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put on my Louis Armstrong voice, okay? And I go, and then you go, and then I go, and then you go. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Even if you're copying my stuff, I just feel it. You ready?
Okay.
One,
No
two,
problem.
1, 2, 3, go. Wa, ba, ba, doo, ba.
Wow, wow, bam.
Wa, ba, ba, dee, bo.
Wow, wow, bam.
Beep, 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 bo, bo. Wah, 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 wah. Woo! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Of
Well
your week.
done.
You're not supposed to laugh at
I'm smiling at your brilliance, eh?
No, no. I just wanted to play around. Anyways, Candice, can you take us back to the very start of your singing career? Can you tell us when it all started for you? When did you realize that, wow, I can actually sing? Can you paint the picture for us?
Cool. So my picture starts at a very young age. Everyone that I know and love started somehow in church, and that's my origins. And from getting that kind of support, not only from church and family, I kind of always knew that music was going to be my career. So the minute I hit high school at 16, I joined the jazz band, and that's when I got introduced to jazz. And like I think I took a gap year where I just worked in retail and was giving up on music. And my
Yeah.
dad's like, listen here, you can't be a beautician. That's not gonna work for us financially. So let's just be real. You need to be a musician. And he said to me, you can sing, you can do it really well. Just go and study, even if it's just for a while, and get yourself back into it because you can. And I went to Cape Music Institute, and I started my career the same year that I started at Cape Music Institute because I started working stages at the same time. And I did work with a boredom band while I was studying, and that taught me a lot. Boredom slash lang arm. So
Yeah.
for those who wanted to know, and going to that gave me my foundation when it came to working the secular scene, and kind of gave me a small peek as to what my life can be like being a performing artist and not just a studio artist. And I learned a lot about rep. I learned a lot about pleasing the crowd. I got new music under my belt. I had to work for hours. So we'd sing straight from 8 till 1 in the morning. every Friday and 8 till 12 every Saturday. And when I walked into the band, they had bookings for like a whole year. So I had bookings a year in advance. So I was working every weekend and studying during the week. And it built
Wow.
me really so I could sustain the work that was lying ahead of me. And God is so good. The minute I left the boredom band, I won the competition. And when I
Yeah.
won the competition, it gave me a new boost into the music industry and got to meet the new
Yeah.
people I needed to meet. I was managed a few times also during my career, and I saw the stages that I wanted to see, and it didn't happen over time. It took so much hard work. It took so many mistakes to make in order to get to where I wanted to be. And I was just
Yeah.
reminiscing with my parents the other day, telling them that my biggest dream was to meet Evan Campbell because I'm an R&B 90s R&B kid to the like core of my soul. I'm a 90s R&B kid. And I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to sing with this guy one day. I don't care how old I am, it's gonna happen. And then in 2019, I got booked to tour with him,
Ah,
the South African tour, and I finally got my dream. And on my birthday, we were working in Pretoria, and it was the best gift ever. I was like, Lord, I'm listening. I'm not gonna have to do it anymore, Lord. I just know that every time I put something out, you're gonna give it to me, but in your time. And my career has
absolutely.
been so amazing. Cape Town is really hard to work, and I'm very fortunate to be someone that is known by Cape Town and having had this jazz festival stage with Jonathan Butler and being able to be an opening act at Jazz Fest Free concert in Green Market Square. So
Yeah.
my career's been so brilliant. I just miss having my career these past like few months. COVID is doing a thing. Ugh.
It sounds like you were super busy and just like always focused and involved, you know? I'm sure with, I mean, being, especially being doing that at a very young age, there's so many things that you want to do and there's so many distractions. You want to hang out at parties, you want to be with friends, you want to be in a relationship, but your time is so consumed in all of those things. Can you please like share with us some of those sacrifices that you actually had to sacrifice as a child where sometimes you had to tell your friends, I can't go out with you tonight, or you had to tell a guy, it's not going to work, you know, because this is the main thing right now. Can you share some of those sacrifices with us, please?
Like I think till this day, I'm still making sacrifices. When I started my career, I became a breadwinner overnight. And so I didn't really get to experience my 20s. I was always prioritizing working. And it
Yeah,
takes a lot out of you because you completely miss your social life. You miss what people are doing. You miss having a friend group. Like you're always like searching for what to do in your little free time that you have. And I sacrificed friendships. I sacrificed, and it's not something I regret. I actually
mm,
am in love with the fact that I had such hard work ethic and that there was motivation to it. Because today I see the results of it. And today I can
yes,
enjoy friendships and I can enjoy um, being able to sit with people who are like minded and be able to
yeah,
understand that because I made the mistakes of trusting people too easily because I was so sheltered and getting hurt and trusting my career with people so easily without doing my research and
mm,
being managed by people who obviously wasn't the right fit. So I needed to kind of figure those things out. And I think I sacrificed time of my career as well, just trying to figure things out. And
yeah,
I'd wish that I had just been more streetwise before hitting the road running. But
yeah,
my main motivation was always to kind of provide for my family, which is still a thing. And you sacrifice, I don't know, you kind of sacrifice the time you need to sit with in order to understand yourself because you're
yeah,
doing so many things for others. So the
yeah,
priority of putting other people in front of you first kind it puts you at the deficit because now you're sitting at 30 and you're kind of thinking like, okay, but now who am I really now that I don't need to provide that much? Who am I? And how
yeah,
can I be the person I want to be without having
yeah,
to kind of, so who am I without the hustle? So that's the
yeah,
kind of sacrifices you make. And the reflection now at 30 is much better than trying to reflect at 21 because you don't know the world that
yeah,
much, even though you thought you did. You did know. So
Yeah.
The sacrifices were huge, but they were beneficial.
Yeah. Wow. And that's actually like such an interesting way to look at it because like you said, like when you move on from being like the breadwinner, like everything is sorted now. It's like, okay, so that's the one thing, that's the one mission I had, What do I do
Yeah.
now? What's my favorite color now again? What do I do on weekends? So like wow, that's super awesome to like look at it that way, and like you're saying, with the sacrifices you've learned the lessons, obviously that's why you don't feel like I wish I could take it back, you're actually like
Yeah.
glad at the time it was painful to face it and
Yes.
go through it, but where I am now today, I understand why I did what I did and what
Mhm.
happened. So
Yeah.
I can appreciate, and I'm sure a lot of people can appreciate that as well. So
Okay, good.
yeah, and it must have been really a challenge, like for you, like you said, there was no one who was before you who could have guided you, in the beginning and could have like show you the ropes. And you being a very sweet person, I'm sure you've opened your heart so easily, and you allowed people to, be part of your journey in so deep and so soon, But you thought that
Mhm.
obviously that they have the best in your interest, but that's just the speech that everyone has, and you learned afterwards that, oh, it's
Yeah,
just a speech. I thought you meant what you were saying. So they were
definitely.
super challenging. Any challenges in the household that you found with yourself with the whole music thing? Were your folks very, like you said, your father kind of kicked you back into it? He's like, listen, yeah, get back into it. But in the beginning, before that realization, did you have any challenges in the household with you trying to be a star?
Um, I didn't have many challenges. I think it's more like kind of adjusting to not being Candice Thornton, the superstar in the household, and Candice, the daughter and the sister in the household.
Okay.
So
Hey, go
you
sing
kind
in the
of,
dish.
yeah, you kind of forget to switch it off. So you want to
Yeah.
be all professional 24 hours of the time, and they're like, hello, you still have a lot of work to do. You're not still gonna come and sit here and say just because you did now 2 gigs over the week and you're a superstar. Not gonna happen. So I think the challenges in my household was more the fact that, like, if I wanted to, because I was hustling to make the household work, if I needed to do branding work for my brand, it used to be such a big crossroad type decision. Because do I do this one thing for free that benefits my brand, or do I go and do the work that's going to be providing me with some money so that we can like buy the things we need to buy? And it used to really sit with me for a long time because I used to miss out on branding opportunities because I knew I had to hustle. So in the household, it used to kind of turn me off a lot, having to kind of make that decision constantly. But when I see having to do it now, I wouldn't redo that decision. I would still go and get the money because I feel like I still have so many years ahead of me to build my brand, and I'm patient with it because I realize running into something doesn't benefit me at all, and my family supports me either way. So if I had to do branding things, they would still support me. They wouldn't kill me for wanting to do a free thing, but they'd be like, but listen, do they deserve you doing this thing for free? Then you have your mommy one side, your daddy the other side, and your conscience behind you. And those were, I think it's still today something we kind of sit with, like, do you brand or do you work? And now, as I'm in the industry for 11 years, the understanding is easier. Like, go do the branding. We can afford to let you go. And I also feel like I've made my family my not what do you say, like, you're dependent on, you start becoming dependent on that excuse. Like, no, I can't do this branding. No, I'd rather go work,
Yeah.
because it becomes so easy for you to make the decision. And it became like a
Yeah.
comfort thing for me. So I had to get myself out of it and recognize where I need to be now. So now I have to do the branding thing, and now I have to be okay with it and not feel like I'm and feel guilty about wanting to do it. I can do it now. So it's a big change actually. Hey, COVID.
Yeah. I mean, like the way I see it, you kind of have to do like 50-50, because a lot of people like they start out with just the branding, taking free gigs, doing that. No, it's fine. I'll do this. I'm just trying to get my name out there. And then they switch at some point. They're like, no, I'm done with the free gigs. I'm done with it, all of that stuff. I want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to get what I'm doing. And I'm saying like it's healthy to have a 50-50. Sometimes things are good for your brand and sometimes things are good for the job. And sometimes when people get caught up in, I just want to do it for the money, you sometimes lose yourself and you could do jobs that you are not happy with. So
Mm-hmm.
understanding your brand as a personal brand, that kind of like keeps you, helps you see like how far do you go in terms of the branding work and how far do you go in terms of the hustling work. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. And it's actually something like for up and coming artists, if you are watching this podcast, please pay attention because that is a very, very important lesson and something that you want to carry with you in your career. It's going to
Definitely.
help you. But some things are good for the brand and will always be. There will be
Mm.
free gigs. Sometimes you'll have to make a free appearance. Sometimes you'll have to appear on someone's podcast for free. Sometimes you have
Love
to do
it.
that also or whatever. And sometimes you have to only focus on your time and your value, and you need to be like appreciated for that, and you need to be, and you need to earn some money for that as well. So it's
Exactly.
good to have a healthy balance, but if you want to understand how to have a healthy balance, understand your brand.
Mm. Important. Preach, Lunga Tshuka.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, thank you for bringing that up because it's also something that I'm also learning, that I've started learning for the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, you with Huckleberry Media as well, and
Mm.
that's where my journey started with this learning about branding and all of that.
Exactly.
And the community, did you have any challenges in your community? Because, like, I know you're from Mitchell Spain, right? And
Now, yes.
sometimes some heavy challenges like gangsterism and drugs and all of that. Do you think any of those distractions or challenges came into your path in some way, in some part?
I have been very blessed to not actually have a community. My family and I have been moving like hipsters since I was 2 years old. We have never had like I don't come from an area. I come from many areas. Like if you need shortcuts throughout Cape Town, just ask me. I know because I've been almost in
Absolutely.
every area. I think the community I feel that is most influential on me is my support community. If my support community has an issue, then it affects me as an artist because it's not just the music that I do it for. It's also the kind of the healing part where I get to kind of help people after or during a song, no matter if it's secular or gospel. So the influences on my community when they're not really supportive, it hits you. Especially now with having online shows, a lot of my community is not happy with the online thing. They don't feel like it's a vibe that they want to support, and it shows in your ticket sales. It shows in your social media following,
Yeah.
and we try to do our best to kind of meet everyone halfway. We still want to be able to do this thing for you, but we have to do it online. So I think again the branding part comes into place where your community needs to start getting used to the fact that we have to do this right now. And the more you
Yeah.
support it, the better it's going to feel for you. Even though we can't interact with you or say happy birthday to your cousin that came with you tonight, we still here
Yeah.
with you. So that I think is the community that influences me.
Yeah. And for yourself in your journey, Candice, I know like you've described how focused you've been and how focused you had to be, with your music and everything like that. But was there ever a time where you felt like, you know what, I just want to hang up the boots. This is all too much and all too overwhelming. I can't do this anymore. Was there ever a time like that where you felt that way? And what did you do to kind of bring you out of that and keep going?
I think I felt that way at the beginning of lockdown. I'm a
Okay.
very slow burner, so things don't hit me immediately. Reality kicks in like later on because I'm still very optimistic and hopeful that, no, this COVID thing's gonna be a month. Then I'm back on stage, I'm back touring.
Yeah.
And I felt that way last year, like winter time, where I realized that this thing is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I had to do a lot of praying and I had to do a lot of reflection. I had to kind of admit and forgive myself for a few things. And I also had to release things that I kept with me as an artist. I was carrying a lot of burdens as an artist, not as a person, because when you mess up my business, I take it for real, real. I've worked so hard on my own to get to where I am today. And after doing that, I think now this year, I feel myself feeling better as an artist. And I
Yeah.
don't feel the blow of not being able to perform as much. But I am now so motivated to get my brand and my authorship to a level where it should have been. And I realize I can only get there now that I've done the reflection and the forgiveness, and also just the blessing over my own life and career in order to move forward.
I love that you mentioned self-reflection and forgiveness and self-forgiveness. That is one of the most important things. I mean, we take ourselves for granted. We take our bodies for granted. We just look at ourselves lost. We're always beating ourselves. Barely give ourselves credit, and not looking back and actually saying that, wow, thank you to yourself for bringing me this far. For
Yeah.
sometimes body pushing further than the mind. Sometimes
Mm,
doing all of these things that I thought, I couldn't do this, but I actually pulled through. I surprised myself. So it's very
mm,
important to take the time out to do some self-reflection, like you said. Look at everything. Forgive yourself for the mistakes. Forgive yourself for the things that you didn't know.
yeah.
Even though it hurt and you blame yourself, forgive yourself for it. Because
Mm.
it only taught you a lesson, and you can only do better moving forward. So that is so amazing, and I like that. Um, also, okay, speaking of all of these things and mistakes, are there three? Can you give me three mistakes that artists usually make? Now, this is for this could be like up and coming artists, or like something that you've done even in your past. Three mistakes that artists usually make. That's like, no, man, don't do that. When they're starting out in the career. Three mistakes that you wish that artists should never ever make, or that you've noticed or realized that there's always those three common things that they always do. And then after that, can you give me three of the most important, crucial things that artists should consider or do in their career that is going to help them be a sustainable brand, or just be better at what they're doing and a better person as well? So I know you've learned, and I can hear by you, like, by just of the past, that you've been through some of these things. So can you please share some of the three mistakes that they should really try to be aware of, and open when they're starting this thing, and maybe some that you've experienced as well, and then three of the best things that will elevate them.
Okay. So, yeah, there's so many mistakes we make as newbies. I was one of them. But I think the three things that we make the mistake of is, firstly, we always running into something. We're so quick to want to like get our name out and get our brand out and become a celebrity, that we just run into things without really like planning. So, mistake one, we don't plan. Number two, we often run away, or our heads become so big if one person tells you, yo, your voice, you're playing. Like we take that to the head and we don't kind of just digest it, you know? And then
Yeah.
the third thing that we often make a mistake with is we have a lot of assumptions as creative people. We live on assumptions, we live with our hearts on our sleeves, and we don't recognize it. So, those are the three things that we often make a mistake, because those things are the things that kind of can turn your whole situation around as an artist and a musician. Even if you're session or if you're part-time or full-time, we often live on assumptions and we miscommunicate with each other,
Yeah.
and that creates beef, which is a common denominator.
Can I just add to that? Like you mentioned earlier on, like you said, you didn't have a lot of street knowledge. So doing your research is also things that we don't do our research. Like you said,
Yay!
I guess it falls in with the first point that you said. They always run into things, without
Yes.
planning. And obviously, planning is doing research and understanding all of that. Sorry, you actually mentioned that. I just thought I want to add that, but you actually mentioned that. My bad.
No
Please
problem.
continue.
And then, what's the three things that they must look forward to, or three things that
Yeah.
are okay?
Three
So,
crucial, important things that you feel that every artist should do, or be aware of, or that you look
mm,
forward to, that's gonna uplift their branding, or just help them be like a better artist, and be successful.
cool. So, three things that are very crucial in the music industry is, please know your rep. I mean, you
Yes.
need to build a repertoire in order to entertain any audience, or a repertoire of your original music to record your albums or your EPs. Sort out your music first, and that's going to determine how you build your, not your authorship, but like kind of build a brand. Like, what are you going to
Yeah.
represent? And the other thing is, the crucial thing is come with your identity known, whether it takes you a month or a year. Figure out what it is that makes you happy. Figure out what it is your mission is as an artist, because you can't just come in being an artist. There must be a mission. Because what is the
Yes.
purpose for your music? What is the purpose for you being here? And then the other crucial thing as an artist, always be humble. There is no way in heck you're gonna get anywhere if you're gonna have an attitude. And I find a lot of the newbies have this attitude. We tell you to be confident, but we're not saying be overconfident. Because the others out there that have been here before you are still trying to make it out there. You can't make it, no one can predict when you're gonna make it, because making it means you finally top the mountain, and the mountain never ends. The music industry always changes, music always changes. You never stop studying, and you never stop planning, you never stop
Yeah.
research. So always remain humble. And then there's a fourth thing also, never forget where you came from, because those people who supported you from the beginning are the people who are sticking with you till the day you're gone. So that is
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
Wow, that is awesome. And I love the like the be humble thing, because like um it's if I would describe it, if I were to make a reference, I would say like I would use hiking because you're on this mountain, and you work so hard and it's some steep parts and then there's some smooth parts and there's some amazing moments and there's some weather change and all of that. But then you finally reach the top and you're like, yes, I made it. But also, when you reach the top, you realize that there are so many more mountains around you.
And
If
coming
I
down
only
the
made
mountain's
one
even
mountain,
worse.
absolutely. I'm like, if I only made one mountain, I'm here, going on here. There's two more mountains there in the area. So remain humble, and also acknowledge your success. Acknowledge that you've
Yeah,
you reached the point. You said, forgive yourself, celebrate yourself, but don't
definitely.
let it go to your head. Like you said, there's always more challenges out there. There's always the music industry is always changing. The mountain is always changing. The trails are always changing. So always remember to where you come from because that will help you. That will help you center yourself and bring you back when you have these challenges and not to let
Exactly.
anything get carried away with. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Candice,
Pleasure.
have you had any mentors in your career? And at what stage do they walk into your career with your journey?
At my high school career, I had a beautiful, beautiful singer and um, not professor, but I think she was a teacher. But her name is Melanie Scalds, and she was a brilliant jazz singer. Still is. She lives in America now in New York, and she kind of held my hand and showed me what the world looks like in the jazz industry, and I loved it from the minute I started working with her. I loved it,
Yeah.
and she showed me what professionalism looks like. She showed me what an artist kind of walks in. So there's grace, there's elegance, there's certain things that you kind of remember when you walk into a stage. And my second mentor for a while before I hit college was Heinrich Franz, also a brilliant vocalist. And he just showed me like the vocal part of things. Like there's so many things you can do with your voice, or you even a way that you can do it. And still to this day, I respect him so much because he's just an amazing person. And he's got the best vocal chops I've ever heard in my life. So I still have vocal goals when it comes to him. So those are my two mentors. And then the biggest mentor of my whole life is my mommy, because she has really been there with me through thick and thin. And she prays for me all the time, and we grow together because she's studying now and she started like later on in her life. So she's
Yeah.
busy with her masters at the moment. So it's just seeing her doing her thing and being motivated for it
Yeah.
motivates me. So that's my famous mentors.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. And I like what you mentioned with your first mentor. That is a very, very important lesson that I've also learned, and my sister actually made me aware of that. Is watch how you present yourself before you even open your mouth on the mic. The elegance and how you walk into a room and how you address and how you just how you allow people to perceive you. It's not just about your voice. And then a lot of artists think that they can do whatever they want to swear and do whatever, can come on stage with a beer and all of that. They think that the art is going to carry them alone. but there's so much more to you, because the people look at you afterwards and they feel like, can I approach you? And be like, I can't approach you for my gig. You're probably gonna do this, what you're doing now. And a lot of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
think that now, then I'll come right, when you book me, then I'll wear a suit. Like, no, if you want to be
I hate that.
in that category, show up like that already, so that they can see,
Mm,
so that you must kind of fit what they have in their mind. They don't want to
mm,
see potential in you. Not everyone's going to see potential in you and carve you to the right place. Some people just
yeah,
want to
yeah,
see the end product, want to see that
yeah,
finished product. And, this will go great with what I have in mind. Not, I need to
yeah,
develop
yeah.
you to be something great, and then maybe we'll see if you will fit the picture. No, you got to look like you already fit the picture. So I like that, what you said,
Exactly.
and that's also very, very important. Guys, take notes today. Woo! Miss Candice
I
Thornton is
said there was
dropping
some
them
advice
down.
coming, guys.
Dropping knowledge tonight, Candice. Um, we're getting close to the end of the interview, and which is making me really, really sad. But there's one more thing I wanted to ask about the mentorship. Is there anyone that you currently mentoring, that you are helping with? Because I believe that you're also a vocal coach. So that's also like a form of mentorship. So are the people that you are mentoring now in the industry?
I don't have any well-known people that I'm busy with at the moment, but I am busy with my vocal academy. And right now, I have two kids who are with me, who are under the ages of 19. So at the moment, there's one who's like completely gifted, reminds me of myself, and the other one who
Yeah.
wants to really pursue music as their career. And I find it so ironic, the one that reminds me of myself is not looking for music as a career. Can you deal? So, so
Yeah.
it's been quite a journey because as I teach them, I'm relearning the things I forgot. And it's really changed me having this responsibility with not just coaching them, but also teaching them that this is what the music industry is like, this is what you need to expect. This is the kind of things that we're aiming for, and to teach them about achieving goals. Like, goal list is important. Why are you coming to training? Do you understand that singing is not just grabbing a mic, it's being vulnerable every time to people judging your gift? And
Yeah.
it's so cool to kind of see the change within 3 months. You see changes in them, in their personality, in their vocal growth, and in their goal list. And mentorship is a thing I can get used to it. So anyone needing mentorship, I'm available 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
I love that. I love that. I love that. You just, I'm listening is like, okay, okay, take notes. I love that. Candice, so I'm gonna just approach you now to the last question of the interview, and yeah, we've come to that, and I've enjoyed my time with you. Thank you so much for being so insightful
Thank
and
you for
sharing
having
your
me.
thoughts with us. Truly appreciate you here on the Price of Fame. But now, what I wanted to add is that, maybe the child that you said that reminds you of you and it's not really into music right now, she's probably going through the phase that you went through when you're like, I'm probably not going to take this seriously until, so someone's just going to come along and nudge her. So don't worry, she's in that phase
Hey,
right now.
that will probably be me nudging her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Might be you. It might be you. Yeah, busy. Come on, man, you must do this. You remind me of me.
Sing a J song.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so with my last and final question to you, Candice, if I were to put you into my time machine, like I put all of my guests in a time machine, and to take you back to the very young Candice who started to take this seriously, was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make a career of this and I'm gonna be a singer. And she's just stepping in. She has no idea what she's getting herself into. And you having walked the journey and knowing and done the things that you've done up until now, what piece of advice would you leave her with?
The piece of advice I would give young Candice Thornton is never give up. Like, there's going to be so many challenges, there's going to be so many people who break your heart. And there are also going to be so many good stages and good people who walk your way. But don't give up. And train, please, train. Because I was so lazy to train. So it's like, Yuri, if I just started training earlier and kept going with it, then it would have been different. But I would definitely tell myself, you are beautiful and never give up.
Absolutely. And look at you now. You're actually a coach. You're training people, and training was your
Look at
challenge
my
back in.
come
So
up.
look at that. Look at that. I love that. Candice, you've been absolutely amazing. I enjoyed having you tonight. I'm sure my listeners and guests have enjoyed you also tonight. Did you enjoy yourself?
Thank you. I had so much fun, Luke. It's so nice seeing your face after many years.
Oh my Lord. You see, me so excited. I let my perm go out. So I look crazy. Candice, we look forward to seeing more of you. Please, can you share with us your social handles? Where those are the viewers who haven't followed you just yet, can you please share with us where they can get in touch with you, where they can be part of your journey on social media?
Cool. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Candice CNT, at Candice Thornton on Facebook fan page. You can get me on YouTube as well if you're like really curious to find out who I am. And also just keep your eyes posted to all my social media platforms. We're always posting about new things. And I do have a Christmas show coming up at the end of this year in November. So please get your tickets, money ready to see Soulful Saturdays this Christmas happening soon, soon.
Absolutely, guys. Like she said, please follow on all of her social platforms because that's where you will be clued up with all the amazing things that she's doing. And there are some amazing events coming up. Candice, is there any last thing that you want to say before I let you go?
The only thing I want to say is to everyone out there that is watching, I realize how hectic this time is, but we are in this together and it will pass. And don't forget to pray. And
That's
thank you
it,
for having
ladies
me,
and
Linda.
sorry.
And thank you for having me.
Of course. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. A huge thank you and a huge shout out to Candice Thornton. Like she said, please follow on all of her social platforms. She's got some amazing things coming up. And like I always say, your likes, your shares, and your subscribes mean a lot to us when we're trying to build our brand. So please get on it. Get on it. I know you're watching this. And if you didn't like and share, subscribe yet, I'm coming for you when the lockdown is finished. Because and like I always say, let's make this the entertainment industry within South Africa the best supported by locals because local talent is a liquor talent. Candice Thornton, once again, thank you so much for being a lovely, amazing, insightful
Thank
guest
you.
on the Price of Fame. May you have a lovely evening further. Good night to you.
You too, Linda. Thank you. Bye, everyone. On Price of Fame. Thank you for having me.
And she's out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me, and that's it from the Price of Fame, and that's it from Candice Thornton. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And like I said, there are some of you guys that are watching this clip and haven't liked, shared, or subscribed. Didn't even send me a friend request. Do it. Do it now. Please, you can check me out on my social, my Facebook page, which is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. That is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. On Instagram, you can check me out at Lunga Tshuka. And also, I have a separate account for the Price of Fame, which is the Price of Fame ZA. Please like, share, subscribe, check out the other interviews. We always drop the link in the bio so that you can go to the YouTube page where all of the interviews are there. You can check it out. You can share it with the people that haven't seen it and just have a jaw, have a ball, and you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me. My name is Lunga Tshuka. This is The Price of Fame.